No. Okay. So, what's your background, Harshada, by chance? Just for
Um,
understand.
I have completed my master's MC.
MCA, right? Okay. And anything you learn about domain earlier?
Not about the payments, and
Not about payments. Okay.
I'm no idea about payments.
Okay. No worries. So in today's discussion, right? Anyways, I am going to start discussing with first of all, what are the things we are covering? Maybe you can mute yourself, then I can discuss. Okay. Um, we can start discussing from today regarding the what are the basics. Not from the. I'm just discussing about the coverage I'm taking in this session. Okay. So here the course is designed in such a way that everybody can understand what's going on from the basics of like 1 2 3 4 till your complex things. Okay. So in such a way that so in initial stages, right? So initial stages we are going to discuss that what is the introduction of the payment. Okay, which are the areas payment earlier works, payer beneficiary. So this will help you to learn how empty message and MX message works. So these things are essential initially to learn. Who is payer beneficiary, who is bank, who are intermediary agents, who are intermediary banks, who is paying the payment, who is receiving the payment, the different countries regulation system, what is real time gross settlement, real time net settlement. You must have seen while sending payment using RTGS or NEFT. So that kind of concept also we are going to learn. We are going to learn the important concepts of nostro and vostro accounting system with loro accounting system. That's important when you are transferring the payment, wired payment, RTGS payment, the different payment transaction life cycle end to end, what's happening with payment initiated, validation, clearing, settlement, reporting. So important part of the payment journey also we are going to learn line by line. Okay, this is everything is basics only what we are discussing here. Then we are understanding the concepts of what a high value payment, mass payment, direct debit, inward payment, corporate payment, retail payment, book payment, request to payment. Everything you already done this before also. Only you are not aware you are doing these things. Okay, so we are going to see the brushing of your knowledge also in the previous this case. Then we are learning the real time payment, net payment. Okay, there are many things: US payment, UK payment, India payment. Okay, and how this SEPA payments work. Then this is a basic first slide only. Then in this also we are going to learn category 1 messages, category 2 and category 9 messages. So we are going to learn this also. So how this message look like this. We are going to learn each and every dot of this message, each and every part of this message. What is this message? What why we are sending this like this, everything. So when we are preparing this, mostly interview questions come on this part. So we are learning this also very thoroughly in the 2 3 hour session. Then when we are working on ISO 20022, we are going to learn pack spin and empty messages in depth. Okay, this is the comparison of how empty MX message look like. So what I discussed with you is just only a few initial 2 lines of our learning. Okay, we haven't started anything in detail now. Then when we are learning second part, we are learning about the what is CBPR payment. Okay, how this is established, what is SWIFT payment, what is meaning of SWIFT, what is SWIFT code, so SWIFT guidelines. Okay, this how this netting happen in a payment. Actually netting happen, right? When you're sending payment, somebody is doing clearing and somebody is doing settlement. So we are going to learn how clearing happen, how real time gross settlement happen, how real time final settlement happen. So these kind of things also we are going to learn in a manner here, line by line. Swift payment, and then we are going to learn what are different flavors of Swift are there: empty messages, MX messages. Then in some part we are going to learn USA Fedwire messages also, not literally but overlook of backs payment as well. But everything is now converted into MX ISO 20022. Okay, so this is the flavor of message we are going to learn: messaging, who is doing clearing, settlement on the UK system and India system. Nostro Vostro mirroring of account, that also basic we are going to see. Okay, as I told you, we are going to thoroughly message category 1 messages, category 2 category, um, and in the category 1 messages we are going to work on MT101, 102, 103, MT103 STP payment. These are the customer to customer payment. Then we are working on bank to bank payment as well. So here 199, 195, 190, there are so many messages. I'm covering maximum messages which is important for your interview purpose also. Then we are learning category 9 messages as well. Okay, and on top of that we are going to learn MX messages also, and the conversion of MT to MX. Okay, this is the thing which are there. Are some flavors of investment banking also I am taking with you, because many CVs require investment banking as well, some requirements with payment. So I am going to discuss with many concepts of investment banking also, like merger, demerger, IPO, shares holders, and many things. That's also I'm going to discuss with you. Okay, that commercial banking happen, reverse repo rate. So this also thing I'm going to discuss with you. This is the second slide we have done. In the third slide, we are investigating how payment, when payment is moving end to end, right? At that time, okay, at that time, what exactly happened inside the payment engine when his payment is moving? So account reconciliation, cash management, fees management, fraud management, accounting. So this kind of things actual moving. So this is the example of 90% of the interview questions come on this diagram only, at how payment move end to end and the complete flow of the interview. Sorry, complete flow of the payment in ISO 20022. We are learning this diagram completely almost for 3 hours, and I am going to discuss with you this diagram. Okay, then based on that, how fees and charges calculated, how what is that fee, credit fee, depend on which system you are using, Fedwire, CHAPS or SEPA. Okay, and this is actual flow, that when who is going to pay the fraud management, and when somebody payment is fall into the exception queue, how payment investigation we do. So that also one of the part of the training, how payment investigation we do it, right? Exception handling, this is called in payment investigation. So there are number of flows of chart, this one, single payment and bulk payment. Okay, this also there. And offers payment, honest payment means we are sending payment out of the bank, offers, or inside the banks only, honest payment. So this concept also we'll discuss. We'll discuss payment return versus payment reversal also. If payment is settled, it's called payment return. Payment is not reversal, then we can settle the payment. So this is not a rocket science. When I'm starting discussing with you initial messages, you'll easily understand. But I'm just discussing with you now what is the coverage of this session now. Then difference between SWIFT and SEPA. This is the one area. Then we are going to learn third area, which is ISO 20022. Okay, what is the objective of payment, which area we are working, like payment messages, fax messaging, what are the new terminology of this message is called. So those also, what is the migration of the messages, this is old, this is when the new original messages, the below one, this is the below one is original messages, and this is now migrated to the new message, these are the new one. So how this mapping also happen, I am going to discuss with you one to one, which mapping, that's most of the interviews come. This is the skeleton of ISO 20022, that also we are going to discuss. Then how exactly each and message look like, we have thousands of example for this one, hundreds of example we are going to learn with this, the messaging of this application. Okay, when we are learning empty messages, I am going to walk you through all the fields of this empty messages, how this is look like. For example, if I want to discuss with you in a nutshell manner, okay, this is MT103 message, the message start from here, I will start discussing from here till here, till end. So each and every line is one significance here, each, for example, this is 32A. What is meant by 32A? If I want to explain to 32A, I have to go here. Okay, and in 32A there is a date, currency, and amount, and there format of this one. Then I have to go in deep dive of this and show you how exactly it look like. So this is 80-page document, minimum document. Like this we have around 20 documents which I want to walk you through of the each and every payment, how it is look like. Okay, is MT103 message like this. In a similar manner, when we are discussing ISO 20022, we have 900-page document. Here when we are learning with this ISO 20022, at that time we are going to learn this, how exactly each and every message is look like, their regulations, their rules, how they find, what is the new terminology introduced here, and like this. This is, for example, business application header is the payment header, and inside this one header there is a concept of call, different messages are there. Okay, so we require almost 20 hours to learn this ISO 20022 messages. Okay, for example, this is interbank payment initiation message by customer, how this is look like. So this is look like group header, payment investigation, like this. So there are there are number of use cases we are going to learn with this as well with the different parties here. Okay, trust me, this document will help us to understand complete ISO 20022 document here. So this is a 900-page document, almost 400 to 500 pages we are learning with this one. This is one thing which we want to learn. Okay, when we are learning the ISO 20022, we are learning the migration part as well. Okay, for example, how this MT103, MT101, it is converted into, is mapped into ISO 20022 also. Okay, messages, which is the most important question is happening in interview, that can you map us the data account? Can you map us the 32A? Can you map us the date and time? So many questions are play around this one as well. So we have to do see the mapping as well of this actual mapping. Okay, so we are going to learn this also. For example, if you want to map MT910, it is mapped in CAMT54. So we have to map line by line of this one as well. So like this documentation is will help us to understand the Swift guideline documentation to do that. Okay, now for example, now if you are learning packset messages, I'm saying just getting ISO 222 messages. So in that case, the packset messages is look like this. Okay, this is the structure of the messages. So we are going to learn how the structure of the messages look like. It is called business application header first. Inside this is group header, and then a so many. There are more than 1,000 fields are the elements we call now. So we are going to learn each and every element of this one. For example, just for your idea, identification, interbank settlement amount. If I click here, this is father, and it is a child of this statement. If I click on this, this is the error display if they are not in proper format. Okay, so like this is, there are so many things we are going to learn as well. So how this message look like? This is message look like here, production messages. This is pack set messages. So we are going to learn the line by line each and every tag of this one, how this is work, why it is here, and why it is required here, each and every field of this one, mandatory fields and non-mandatory fields, everything we are going to learn on this part as well. Okay, so that is this ISO 222 messages system. So also we are going to learn how this mapping happen, and I also want to discuss with you this parent and child relationship, how it is work. So I will give one more example how it is work. Okay, this is for example a is called charge bearer. Charge bearer means if you're sending any payment, who is going to bear the charges. So if I click on that, there are three options: debt, credit, or share. Means either payer is when either the sender or the receiver, or the sharing between two, three. So how this is work? So this also we are going to learn. So if I want to map it, this one you have to map like this, and this is the most interview questions happen, that can you map these charges 71A in 30 days? So you have to map like this. So I am going to discuss with you how this is map should be there. This also one important questions have been asked always. So this also I will walk you through, and I will show you through how your mapping should be done. So this will help us to understand. There are new fields also introduced, for example ultimate creditor, ultimate debtor. These are not there in earlier messages system. So how that's mapping also happen, we are going to learn this also line by line, one by one. Okay, this is just an example I have given here. Then we are going to see actual use cases from the productions of Swift, that how when payment is moving forward, what exactly changes is there. This is a real-time information shared by Swift, real-time Metro Bank, ING Bank from Budapest, or every time when payment is moving ahead, there is a message generated. So this A to B is payment is moving, means A agent to B agent, so pack set is moving. So that pack set message is this only. Okay, so we are going to study all the use cases. We have to study around 100 of use cases when we are studying this pack set, packs 9, packs 10 messages that time. Okay, this is also in the our bucket list. Then there are some guidelines when you're sending payment. This is called PMPG guideline. At overview, we also we have to study this also when we are doing a PMPG guidelines, how these messages are there. For example, the hybrid structure of the messages. So this by November 2026 this year, the hybrid structure is going to remove unstructured address structure going to be removed, and it could be only a structure address. So that also my is on me only, that we should understand what is the hybrid structure of the message and what is the unstructured and structured message. Okay, so this also will walk you through in detail. Okay, I am not going to invest more time, but half an hour session I'm taking with the Fedwire messages, how this message look like, because this is not in the scope. But sometimes if your interviewer has had ask you that what is how Fedwire message look like, Even I have not worked on these Fedwire messages because everything is now converted into ISO 20022. Still, there are some flavors of Fedwire messages also I will take with you to understand how this Fed message look like. Okay. Then, when we are doing a CBPR migration, there is on November 25 last year it's migrated already, but after migration there are many challenges are there. So I am discussing with you what are the challenges is there and how to solve it by the CBPR, how it is solved. So there are number of challenges are there. At least I will walk you through some challenges so you understand what exactly happened in the production after this migration. Okay. After this, I'm going to discuss with you all the category 1, category 2, and for example, in category 1 messages, we have I am going to walk you through MT101 request for transfer, 102, 102 STP, 103 STP remit, 104 direct debit, then other messages which are 190, 192, 195, 196, 198. So these are the important messages. I am going to walk you through each and every line of this message, each and every field of this messages we are going to discuss with you. Like this similar category, we have category 2 messages which is bank to bank transfer. That also I am going to walk you through in detail. Then we have ninth 4 category, 5 category out of scope of ISO 20022. Then I will directly jump on the category 9 messages, which is now statement messages, or at the end we are generating a statement or debit credit notification. So those messages I am going to walk you through. There are so many messages. Okay, this is also in our bucket list to complete this one. While learning this, there are some product is given by Swift. This product, one of the product is called Swift GPI, Global Positioning Interface. So this also very important product which is mostly asked in interview that have you worked on this product. So I am also going to walk you through this Swift GPI product, which is used for your navigation of the payment, understanding the fees and charges correctly deducted or not. There are many aspects of this. So I am also going to walk you through this product as well with you. Okay. Similarly, this is there are two more PDFs of this one. Okay, when we are learning, when what happened in 4 months coexistence period. Now it's already 6 months now. In its existence period, how many things we are covered here till date. So that also we are going to walk you through in here. Okay, there are some cards and payments also. Even I am not good in that, but at least I will walk you through how these card systems work. This is not my area. Okay, Swift is totally different, but some presentations I have prepared on the merchant side and acquirer side how exactly Visa and back work. So that presentation I have made will walk you through that as well. And normally Swift and SEPA payment, that is my area only. So I'm going to walk you through in detail when what is corresponding banking work, how settlement happen, how compliance checks happen, credit debit transaction. Okay, and there are many aspects of this one. Okay, each and every fields of a MT103 message we are going to discuss what is the significance. There are total 5 blocks are there in any MT messages, so we are going to work on each and every blocks and we'll understanding you the function and feature of this block here. Okay, then when we are when we are working for ISO 20022, what are the different guidelines we follow for doing this? Is guidelines called CBPR, high value payment, CJIMP, and RTPG. So we are going to give you walkthrough of this one as well. What is CBPR called, HAPS called, CJIMP called, and in detail of that one we are going to discuss what is their significance, how this message structure look like, everything. So those presentations also have prepared. I'm going to discuss with you those presentation as well in detail when we are working on that area. High value payment, low value payment, all these stuffs. Okay, so this is the PDFs which I have just now completed. Now I am coming with the presentations of PPT which I prepared. So when we are going to work on payment engine, right? So exactly payment engine, how it's work like. There's a detailed area of the payment engine, which is the core systems work in payment engine. Okay, the rules and regulations, which thing we are checking, which thing not stock cancellation, fraud, AML monitoring. So whatever mentioned in this diagram, okay, everything is happening in a payment. You must have heard this different banks have different payment engines, like we have FlexCube, like we have banks, like we have one more product from TCS as well, I forgot the name now. So those products how exactly works inside the payment engine, so we are going to work on, we are going to take a knowledge of that as well, how this is look like. Okay, then when we are migrating to ISO 20022, right, what are the things we have to think when we are learning with this one. Okay, what are the different phases of migration and currently when you are migrating, what are different approaches we are using, the theories, big bang theory, like theory, There are so many things which I want to discuss with you as well from the ISO 20022 migration point of view, because there are many concepts as corresponding banking also there, then elements are also there, what is current state of the which messages we are going to study, what is market infrastructure. So those aspects also we are going to study in a detailed manner of this one. Okay, when we are learning this basics of payments, just now I discussed, but this is in some pictorial format that okay, how the Nostro and Vostro concept there, what is check scam, this already we have discussed. This is only picturization format, that also to understand from the picture point of view. Otherwise text already we have discussed that how it is working. Okay, now how end-to-end payment happen for Swift and SEPA. Okay, so those, this is a Swift flow or this is a SEPA flow. Like just now we discussed payment engine flow. Similarly, when we are transferring payment initiation happen, balance change, compliance, skinning of, with the help of this documentation and this presentation we'll discuss with you in detail each and every stage how this payment has been moved. That's why I, that's why it took me some time to cover my syllabus. It take a lot of time because I'm covering so much with the practical examples. Okay, like this is one area. Okay, also this is my personal notes when we are discussing ISO 20022 MT101103. That time we are going to discuss this area in detailed manner. Okay, so that time this personal notes also will help you to understand each and every line of this contain all the MT103 message, 104, 109, okay, 202, 202 cover. So this is with my notes, so we are going to walk you through this as well. It's my notes with the help of these notes as well. Okay, okay, when there is a one SEPA payment concept also, though SEPA and now ISO 220 almost similarly one, but how SEPA payments work, and they have SEPA DD, SEPA credit transfer. There are two flavors of payment have been asked in interviews always. So it's my so I'm going to walk you through this also how this SEPA payment exactly look like. Okay, then when we are learning ISO 20022, each and every code has some value. So those code values as given in a form of tabular Excel sheet. So there are more than 100 tabs are there. Each and every tabs when you are sending payment, for example, now this is for external clearing system code, means who is externally doing clearing of the system. So if I mention here AVP means it's a New Zealand clearing system is going to clear the payment like this. If I, okay, now this is the clearing system, same again, who is clearing system is doing this one. So if I mention here USD PID, some chips payment is going to clear by this country USA. Okay, so when we are learning ISO 20022, that time there are lots of things going to be referred by this only. Okay, if any payment, certainly payment falls into repair or falls into the productions, there are many codes are generated. This is one of the code. For example, if it is AM09 here or AM05, duplicate of payment is there. If invalid bank operation code, account is blocked, so these codes are generated. So when we have just now show you the 900 page document, in that this code will help us to understand, and no need to remember all this code. This is already mentioned in your documents always, so hardly you have to remember all this code. But these are, there are more than 100 tabs here, and 100 types of different codes are also generated on the basis of this. Okay, now when we are learning this, there is a one concept is what is payment. It is honest payment or offers payment, means payment with us or out of us. So this also a very very good concept, which is my personal load, so I am going to discuss to that as well. Now when we are mapping the field, for example MT103 to MT pack set messages, which field is corresponding to which field, that information is required in interview, so we are going to map that also, we are going to discuss that also that time. Okay, this is very important, and the mapping is also important, and that kind of questions always been asked, can you give the use cases of this one mapping. So we are going to discuss that also in detailed way. Okay, now just now we discussed with you Swift GPI. Swift GPI had two three different flavors, so this is one of the flavor of that payment, so we are going to discuss this also. This is repeated one, but yeah, I just opened it, so I thought it's not opened it. Okay, this also we have discussed already, Nostro and Vostro concept, but it is mentioned in detailed manner because very important. If Nostro and Vostro relationship is not there, then there is a corresponding banking relationship. For example, if you are transferring payment India to UK, Nostro and Vostro is there, but if you want to transfer from India to Uganda, this concept is not there. So somebody have to involve mediator, which is called corresponding banking. So US Bank of America will be part of this one. So like this is the concept of Nostro and Vostro. We'll discuss this in very detailed manner as well. Okay, Okay, then we are sending a payment from one point to another. There is a charges. Okay, who is going to bear what charge and what is the calculation is done. That calculation also very important, and that also we are going to discuss the calculation part as well. This already we have discussed what are the different type of messages, and we are going to structure. Remember, okay, thing is that this is now XML format messages. The earlier format messages are text messages. So how this modification is done, that also we are going to discuss in detailed manner. Okay, the benefits of ISO 20022. This is one tabular method, and nowadays this silly question nobody will ask, but still we are going to walk you through how this payment work, what is the standard release during the existence period, coexist period, high value payment versus CBPR payment. This kind of things we will discuss. Okay, what are the different parties involved in packs or pain messages? So newly introduced parties. So for example, data agent. So data agent means, or creditor agent means sender of the payment. So data means sender, creditor is receiver of the beneficiary of the payment. Okay, agent is no more called as bank. Bank we don't call bank, it's called agent now. So this also concept we are going to discuss in detailed manner. So if this will help us to understand that your work or not in particular projects or not. So this will help you to form your understanding that your work or not. Okay, these are the new concept of ISO 20022. We'll discuss this as well. Okay, some basics payment also we are going to make. For example, corresponding, what is clearing, what is cost, what is swift, how it is solved. So these are the basic concept also there which is required to be understood initially. I am going to walk you through this also before we starting kick off the main agenda of this project. Okay, one more flavor of the payment is called now interview was there how backs payment work. Actually this is not part of our discussion, but as backs, SEPA and Fedwire things are asked in interviews, at least you should have speak at least for 10 minutes or 5 minutes. From that point of view I have designed some question on based on this, so you are going to get benefits of that as well, how this is work. If you work discuss on 2 3 lines on this, this will helpful, but this is not our main agenda of discussion. But backs and chaps I am going to take you through in detailed manner how this is work. And backs and chaps is typically UK payment network, Fedware is US payment network. Even we are going to work on SEPA payment and target 2 as well, so both things we are going to do. Okay, this is also one of the favor of Fedwire banking. So which is the messages, Fedwire messages, how the journey started, which are the important parts of Fedwire messages, that also at very high level we are going to discuss here. Okay, okay. This is a pain 001 message, a pain 00 or pack set message. This ideally what are the content of this pain messages, so that also I just noted down here. So we are going to discuss this also along with the structure of the payment of pain messages, packs messages, or these things. Okay, now when we are working on domestic or cross border payment, so this payment has which are the aspects of this payment, how domestic payment work, what are the domestic payment, what are the international payment, what is the banking system work, the advantage, disadvantage, which system take into part. There are lots of things is there, we are going to work on this as well. Okay, what are the domestic and international payment work on this. Then while working on this, there are many agile methodology going to be discussed. Okay, so this is important that you should know what exactly agile work. So I am going to discuss with you the different agile life cycle also with safe agile as well. So this will help us to crack the interview, because nowadays Jira and agile is very common in ask in interviews. What are the functions of BA, planning, requirement, design, implementation part. So I have to prepare for you that from that point of view also. So this is a agile way of discussion. Okay, different agile scrum methodologies, Kanban, everything I'm going to walk you through this as well. Okay, there are many aspects of BS question as well, what in the particularly not related to payment, but how situation is going to handle. That thing also I am going to discuss with you for your BA question point of view. Okay, interview, especially in interview this kind of question is asked for a business analyst. So I am going to walk you through this also already we discussed ISO 20022 and their advantage. All this stuff already we have discussed. This is a more granular way of discussion. Okay. Um, as I told you, I am going to walk you through as well how the payment network work, which is especially card payment. Okay, the lateral flow is same, but the initial flow I am going to discuss with you how this Visa and beneficiary works. Mastercard and Visa flow the payment, will work on this, at least the basic thing of this, not the hard and fast, because I am not the payment guy, I'm not the card payment guy. This is SEPA payment working. Okay, so we are going to work on how SEPA payment works. This also we are going to work on this. Okay, now this is the banking payments. In that we are going to how payment engine work. What are the different areas there inside the payment engine when you are sending a payment? This is a part of cards and payment system. Okay, this is also one of the flavor I am going to walk you through. Okay, the real world challenges are when we are mapping of MT to MX, right? So how this is work or what is the existing period earlier one. So this is a interviews question specially which I am going to walk you through when we exactly completed ISO 20022 journey. Okay, there is one more concept is called investment banking. As I told you initially, we are going to discuss some topics of investment banking, also traditional working of mismanaged funding, Lehman Brothers crisis, investment banking definitions, capital market work, what is hedge fund, what is. So this is not directly help you to crack the interview, but sometimes what happens that in a job description they mention, are you aware of the investment banking concept or not? So that time this will help you to understand investment banking concept. That time this will help you to get the confidence that you already work on this or not. So types of bond, different types of bond, different types of trading conversion, all this stuff. This will help you that time. Okay, we are going to discuss that as well. Yes, I have covered I think more than